Hello there. It's your boy Kero coming at you with a review for the first time ever of Monday Night Raw. This is gonna be a constant thing. I'm gonna review Raw and SmackDown and all the WWE pay-per-views. We're gonna take a look at AEW sometimes and NXT if something big happens. Other than that, though, and this also means we may look at New Japan if something big happens in Stardom. Every now and then we'll look at Stardom, but I'm not gonna hold my breath on that. So it could be anything, but one thing is for sure: we're gonna look at the WWE shows every single week. We're going to critique them. I'm going to ask you some questions and get you to think about the show yourselves. But yeah, get used to this because I'm planning to do this for a while and I'm hoping you will be gracious enough to come along for the ride. This might be, something, a start of something cool. Well, we'll see. We'll see. So I don't want to waste too much of your time. I just want to go ahead and get into the review room and so that we can look at these pictures and review the show. So as you can see, we see the Judgment Day here with Rhea Ripley, with Finn Balor, with Damian Priest, and Dominic Mysterio. Now, since this is like my first time doing this, you don't know my opinion about these guys in general, but as we go along, I think you'll have a pretty good idea. I want to talk about Dominic first here. Yeah, he looks like a fish out of water. Whatever he does, if he tries to wrestle, it's the same. If he tries to cut a promo, it's the same. One thing though, he has a huge safety net, right? With this story, he betrayed his father, with who is Rey freaking Mysterio. He already has that deal in the past with Eddie Guerrero, right? Illegitimate, like real son, not even like the illegitimate. It's hard to pronounce. Illegitimate, yeah. Why is that even a word? I don't know. But the thing is, whatever he does, he cannot screw this up right now. So until his storyline with Rey Mysterio ends, Dominic is safe. But I feel like, especially with the Triple H era coming in now, he's gonna have to step up his game, at least in the ring, or if he can, charisma wise. But that's not been what's happening. I know it's not easy, but come on, you're the son of Rey Mysterio, man. I don't know. I'm kind of expecting a bit better, but we'll see. We'll see. Dominic is safe for now, but I'm really interested to see what's he gonna do. What he's gonna do after his story with Rey Mysterio is done. Finn Balor cut a promo here. I mean, everyone spoke. Damian Priest did his, like here's my voice. It's so deep, isn't it? The same shtick that we've seen a million times because we've seen uh, Judgment Day and we've seen Damage Control a million times in the past 3 months. And like, I mean, let's say this morning, right? I was gonna have breakfast. I took out an egg, I cracked it, and as I split it open, I saw Judgment Day. I saw the Judgment Day and Damage Control just fall from it. Then I ran away screaming like, "Oh my god, stop! I don't want to see this anymore." And I just, closed the door and then looked out of my window. Who do I see? Bailey, Dakota Kai, Io Sky. I ran into the toilet, hid in the shower. Who do I smell? Who do I feel behind me? The Judgment Day, the entirety of Judgment Day. Wherever I go, whatever I do, we're like, stop, please, Triple H, right? I, we get it. You like Vanilla, you like Judgment Day, you like Damage Control, but we don't like him as much as you do. There's something called overexposure, with which even guys like John Cena, Randy Orton, and CM Punk put anyone in front of our eyes too much and overexpose them, and everybody's gonna suffer. And we're not talking about a CM Punk here. We're not talking about a John Cena here. We're talking about the Judgment Day. With all due respect, and let me get to Finn Balor here. When you give Finn Balor like a script and he has to follow that script to a T, I like Finn Balor. Okay, let me just preface this by saying I like Finn Balor, but here, when he was cutting a promo, like he usually is, he is the absolute shits. It's so bad. It's so unbelievable. It's so obvious that he rehearsed every single thing he's saying and he's about to say. Right? It's never good with Finn Balor. But you look at him with the like backstage segments where it's a lot more off the leash, right? Where he has a lot more freedom to say whatever the hell he wants to say. There you see his like old self back. He channels some of that Prince Devitt energy from New Japan, right? It's so nice, you know, like that Finn Balor has personality, right? Even at the end of this tag team match, because this was a tag team match with AJ Styles and Rey Mysterio. Inside the match, nothing much happened. Dominic distracted Mysterio, so AJ got wrecked, and yeah, coup de grace. And here, as Finn was punching AJ, I'm pretty sure none of this was scripted, or I'm nearly 100% sure. So Finn Balor just came up with these lines on his own, and he was like, as he's punching AJ Styles, "I'm your best friend. I'm the one who wants the best for you." You know, like let Finn Balor off the leash. I'm not saying give him complete freedom when it comes to promos like you would give to Stone Cold or The Rock, but just um, let him go just a tiny bit, because I think that way he's gonna be able to show his personality more. Right now, Finn Balor is like as straight as my hand right now. It's completely straight, no personality, no edge to Finn Balor when he just this is exactly what you gotta say. Now go say it. I mean, it's hard as well. It's hard for people to, deliver their lines too well. And like, especially, I saw like the transcript of Bianca Belair and Becky Lynch at like the WrestleMania event or whatever, where it wasn't like a wrestling show. It was like outside. It was a weird event, but like the whole script, right, leaked out, right? And Becky and Bianca just said the same thing, word for word, like sentence for sentence. That was incredible to me. That, like, no, please, you don't need to do that. But like I said, I'm not saying also give people complete freedom. Then obviously that's the other extreme, and that can go very wrong as well. But in the case of Finn Balor, let's say, give him a bit more freedom. Let him show his personality a bit more. Let him be a bit more of a, cocky asshole, basically. Okay, whatever. I spent way too much time on this. We are already at 6 minutes, and this is obviously a 3-hour show. So I'm just gonna go ahead and speed along just a tiny bit. But I gotta talk about the tights of AJ Styles. I mean, yeah, we'll get to Bobby Lashley. Look at the colors. I'm pretty sure the last few weeks where we've seen AJ Styles, he always wore colorful stuff. But this is the first time I'm seeing in a while AJ Styles wearing straight black and white tights, right? All he has to do now is to add a little bit of purple. Welcome to the Judgment Day. And at the end of the match, that's what was alluded to. AJ pushed Rey Mysterio, said, "You cost me the match. What the hell were you thinking?" Well, it could totally happen, but we got War Games, coming up. Maybe AJ Styles will swerve the Judgment Day, much like Daniel Bryan swerved the Wyatt family. In the past, maybe we'll see something like that. Anything is possible, honestly. Right now, they're trying to make us think AJ will join the Judgment Day, but might, at least. Let's just say that, not will. But there is no way we can say for sure if that's going to happen at this moment. Maybe next week, maybe a couple of weeks later, maybe after the pay-per-view, we will have a clearer understanding of what AJ might do in the future. But right now, we don't have that, but it's interesting. Yeah. Like I said, though, I've noticed that AJ is now wearing black and white, and I want you to notice that as well, because it's unusual. He didn't do that for a while. And now that he's a bit, like, he pushed Rey Mysterio, he's a bit of a tweener. I don't know. Could be, a sign of something. But Bobby Lashley, this was nice. Mustafa Ali, I mean, like, it didn't set the crowd on fire, but I myself enjoyed it, and I want to see more of Ali, because he, like, he does something, then he disappears completely for months, or to me, it feels like years. Then comes back, disappears again after doing something. I hope this isn't a situation like that. Before we get to the match, though, Ali, confronted Bobby Lashley at the backstage, right? And he literally just like fingered his chest. Well, my video is now demonetized, but you get what I mean. Literally just touched Bobby Lashley, one of the biggest guys in the WWE. Like, I didn't like that. And the reason why I don't like that is Ali could have just waved his hands, like got in his face. But as soon as Ali, or anyone else for that matter, touches Bobby Lashley, Bobby Lashley should have just destroyed him. Like, at least a crossline, at least a punch, a slap, anything. And then he should have said, You don't disrespect me like that after the slap. But if you want a challenge, you've got it, you know? But instead, it was like, oh my God, these guys are disrespecting me. What will I ever do? Like, what's that? You're the United States champion. Act like a champion. Act like a wrestler. If someone touches you, like, you know, Ali was being an asshole as well. He wasn't being polite or anything like that. It was literally just like, I'm challenging you, you know? Like, oh, okay. Let me just slap the taste out of your mouth. And okay, now you can challenge me. I think, yeah, that should been a thing. If I was in the booking committee, I would have done that, honestly. Because Bobby Lashley, we're supposed to believe he's a badass, right? Is being made fun of. I don't know. I don't know. It's just my personal opinion on this. And this was a spot of the night for 50 from the top row to the arm of Bobby Lashley. Timed it perfectly, sold it perfectly. This was super, super good. Like I said, the spot of the night. Ali tried so many times to come back, flabbergasted Bobby Lashley actually in this match because of that. But finally, as he was getting beaten up, instead of going for the pin this time, the hurt lock and good night, Mustafa Ali. Hopefully, like I said, this leads to something. Hopefully, we'll see more of Ali and it's going to be more substantial. But for Extreme Rules, the US title is not on the line from what I know. And we only have a SmackDown left. So I'm assuming whatever is going to happen with the US title is going to happen after Extreme Rules, which, by the way, I will discuss that separately. I will tell you my predictions separately. So be on the lookout for that. Which is why I'm not going to get too much into Extreme Rules in this video, if you're wondering. Okay, so Seth Rollins comes in, curb stomps everybody, and he's laughing. And I got to tell you about what I think about these guys' feud as well, because I really don't like them. Like, the feud, not good. I don't think they have too much chemistry. Their brawl looked not good at all. Let's just put it that way. Their match, I was expecting, like, okay, everything is bad, which is surprising. But at least I'm sure their match is going to be good. But their match was also very underwhelming, though I think the fight pit now changes everything. And no matter what happens, it's at least going to be interesting for sure. As for, like, I liked one of their segments, obviously, the backstage one where they had an interview, then the, crazy blow off after we come back from the commercial. That was awesome. The whole segment, actually, like, where they found cam footage of them fighting at the parking lot. Okay, like that week in particular was sick, and this week was okay as well, but the rest of this whole feud, I really don't like it. I don't know though, what you guys think? Do you think the same way I do? Because, like, one of the biggest problems, and it's also a problem here, is Riddle. Like, he's like in a manic depressive state. He's happy and he's angry and he's happy again in like a matter of seconds. Like, he's super serious. He says in this promo, right, I'm gonna kill you. By the way, great insults in this promo. I'm not gonna get into them. If you haven't watched it, go ahead and watch it. I totally recommend it. But Riddle literally says, I'm gonna kill you in the fight pit. I'm gonna kill you. That's what he says. But he's also like, bro. And then 2 seconds later, I'm gonna kill. Like, you see, consistency. It's not consistent. I like Matt Riddle when he's serious, but like I said, it seems like he's in a manic depressive state and he just cannot figure out what he wants to be. Does he want to be laid back? Does he want to do the bro thing, the comedy thing, or does he want to get serious? I'm not saying not do that at all for the rest of your career, but don't do it here. You're literally telling the guy you're gonna kill him, right? There's something called believability, right? Easy for me to say. And yeah, when he's not consistent with it, with his character work, for me, it just throws it off. Anyways, like I said, I'm gonna talk about everything in detail. So this is what I do, honestly. When I review something, I like to just focus on the nuances. And, I have experience in the ring, just a tiny bit. I've been watching wrestling for more than 10 years now. I've been talking about wrestling for more than 10 years now. And so I like to talk about these nuances to give you another perspective, something else to think about that you probably won't get from anybody else, right? I like to try to do that, right? Regardless, there's one more thing in this promo, obviously, and it's the Zoom call. Literally, like, they're getting intense. They're about to maybe fight each other, even though they have a clause that says if they fight each other, the match at the pay-per-view will be canceled, so they cannot even touch each other. But then we got a Zoom call right at that like big moment, and Daniel Cormier literally shows like a teacher, right? Uh, he's about to give like a whole class about piping. It was so weird. It was so jarring, right? They're having this supposedly serious moment. Two guys who want to kill each other, right? There's no security, by the way. Sure, there's like a no contact clause, but still, I would if it were me, I would also put security there, right? Even if though they have the clause, just me. Anyways, in this very serious moment, Cormier from the Titan Throne, very jarringly, like I said, like we're just suddenly in a Zoom call, suddenly we're in doing an online course, starts speaking, and I'll give kudos where it's due because he was good. He spoke really well, right? And if he just came out, stood in between Seth Rollins and Matt Riddle, and said those words in the same way, perfect. But I mean, yeah, over a Zoom call, man. I don't know, it just kind of seemed kind of funny to me. But yeah, that's my opinion. But this was overall a good segment. Like I said, the Zoom call thing is could have been handled differently. And Riddle needs to really just choose. Does he want to say bro and not be serious, or does he want to be serious? You know. Other than that, though, this was one of their definitely better segments. I'd say the second best segment they've done. The insults were good. You know, when is the last time you main evented a Mania? When is the last time you won a title? When is the last time you've seen your children? I'll leave you to decide which one is the bigger insult, but whatever. We continue on with Candice LeRae and Damage Control. I'm gonna have nightmares about these girls. Like I see him ever stop. Triple H, I'm telling you again, stop. Anyways, this is Monday Night Raw and Damage Control is inevitable. And Dakota Kai is gonna have a match with Candice LeRae here. Dakota Kai, I think, ever since she debuted or came back to the main roster, she's been better, definitely. Like her promo work has been better, her in-ring work has been better, definitely improving. Um, Io Sky as well, I could say the same. But yeah, out of these three, she's the most underwhelming for me. And I really used to like her in NXT, which shows that they really protected her. Um, they hit her weaknesses and showed her strengths. Here, yeah, I think she's struggling a bit to find her footing, especially because she can't cut a promo because she can't really speak English, and that's a huge handicap, obviously. Bailey, though, she talks like a champ, walks like a star. Bailey is perfect. I've gained new appreciation for Bailey ever since seeing her return. Yeah, she like is very important to the whole women's division for sure. And I gotta say, her old theme song before the Damage Control rap thing came in, that was amazing. If I were to be a wrestler, I would have easily chose that as my like walkout sound, like entrance theme for sure. This new rap song though, I'm not feeling it. And this is actually one of those things I want to know. What do you guys think about the Damage Control theme song? Do you guys like it? Like I said, I'm not a big fan of it, but I want to know your opinion on it, and your opinion on Damage Control in general. What do you think about Dakota? What do you think about Io? What do you think about Bailey? And what do you think about how they've been booked so far? Because I just want to cry and gouge my eyes out every time I see him, because we've seen him just way too much, and when we see him, the problem is also nothing really exciting happens. Like the most exciting thing these three have ever done is coming back at SummerSlam, which is a problem. Sure, we can count the title win as well, but like that was also weird and shrouded because they lost the first time for an inexplicable reason, right? Yeah, I don't know. Whatever. This match, nothing to it, honestly. Candice LeRae, speaking of theme songs, fucking amazing. One of the best songs in WWE for sure. Yeah. Like especially the beginning of the song, like the beginning first 15-20 minutes of the song is just perfection. One of my favorite women wrestler entrance theme songs or whatever, for sure. Currently, of course. Currently. Not all time. It could actually. If we're talking about women only, could be an all-timer for me. But yeah, cheating, dirty finish, The heels won. And Damage Control has not lost in a while, like none of them. Not that I remember, anyways. Which is more makes this way more shocking, right? Johnny Gargano came out with a match with Otis, and he actually lost. Sure, he lost because of heels being heels, but Johnny Gargano got pinned, and I can't believe how strong they've been, making Otis look for the past few weeks. But on another note, let's see. Yeah, there you go. That's why Johnny lost here. And they're gonna go on and feud. And Austin Theory might lose this feud. I don't know what they're gonna do with Austin Theory, honestly. They are treating him exactly like they're treating Braun Strowman, which should come up. Which is probably gonna be the title of this video. WWE is trying to make Braun Strowman a jobber. This is like, you can look at how Austin Theory is booked and look at Braun Strowman, and you'll see similarities, right? This guy is supposed to be a big deal, the next champion, Austin Theory I'm talking about. He has the Money in the Bank briefcase, he might beat Roman Reigns and, become the new ruler of the WWE. Yet every week he loses. Every week, not only does he lose, he gets embarrassed. Last time, the Money in the Bank briefcase was dropped on his balls. For what reason, I have no idea. And we have Braun Strowman here making his big return, right? He's going to destroy everybody in the WWE. And I think the first week, he just got body slammed by Otis. First week, he came back and he got body slammed. Like, that is not what you do if you want to get a big guy over. That is exactly the opposite of what you do, actually. Now, this is my first video, right? But maybe you're able to notice that I get a little angry when I'm talking about the WWE. It's hard not to sometimes, to be honest. And in the future videos, I might be screaming a lot more, but I'll be honest, I'm a little bit more timid right now, right? Let's get used to this whole thing, and yeah, I might lose control, honestly. After reviewing Raw consistently for a long while, anything can happen. But yeah, like, what are you doing, right? What are you doing with the Otis body slam thing? Like, are you trying to bury this guy? I really don't know. And then we have this week where it's done. Braun Strowman, to me, I asked the question, is the WWE trying to make Braun Strowman a jobber? For you, maybe this answer can change. Maybe you can say yes, maybe you can say no. But for me, the answer is, to me, Braun Strowman is already a jobber. And the reason is his match with Chad Gable. Dude, Chad Gable made Braun Strowman look like the biggest bitch ever. I cannot believe what I was seeing. And I love what I'm seeing, by the way, because, I love Chad Gable. He has been my favorites for, he's been one of my favorites for, I don't even know how long. So anything good for Chad Gable, I'm happy, right? I used to say a little begrudgingly in the past that Chad Gable is the new Kurt Angle, right, of the modern era. But in the last couple of years, I can say it without a shadow of a doubt. He is the new Kurt Angle, because in the ring, I think it was maybe not as good, but pretty damn close, let's be honest. And he lacked that character, right? In fact, his character was Shorty G. So he actually lacked a lot in the character department. But in the last couple of years, especially with the Alpha Academy, he has sold that as well. So I'm officially stating this. Chad Gable, I mean, I'm pretty sure at this point it's not an original thought, but like I said, I've been saying this for years. Chad Gable is now the new Kurt Angle, and he deserves way more than this. Hopefully he gets the US Championship, the Intercontinental Championship, and one day he can easily do this with a good story. Chad Gable can carry it, the WWE Championship, or maybe the Universal Championship. But I would love to see Chad Gable get a main title. I love how he's now buddied up with Austin Theory and Otis. That trio is great. And yeah, Braun Strowman is an absolute jobber to me. Because the reason is, let's get back to this match. He got his ass handed, got suplexed. Again, like body slam, getting suplexed now. Are you trying to bury this guy? This is the fastest way you can do it. I'll be honest. At least let him try to attack Roman Reigns first, right? Do a little rivalry with those two. So we can maybe think, oh, Roman Reigns is in trouble. But no, they didn't even wait for that. I'm so confused by this. Like, the same thing happened with The Fiend. right? When he lost to Seth Rollins by disqualification in the Hell in a Cell, I was like, okay, I'm done with the Fiend. And the final nail in the coffin was when he lost to Goldberg, like easily too, if I remember correctly, right? And so from then and forever, the Fiend was a jobber to me. Whenever he came on the screen, I didn't want to watch him, and in fact, I didn't watch him. I never cared about any of his storylines because I knew that WWE sees this guy as an absolute jobber. It doesn't matter, you know? If WWE doesn't care about the Fiend, then why should I? So I'm gonna ask the same question here. If the WWE doesn't care about Braun Strowman, if they WWE makes him look like a jobber, why should I care about Braun Strowman? He's an absolute jobber to me. I mean, I didn't particularly like him as well. Like, if the same thing was happening uh, to Chad Gable, I'd be angry because I really like Chad Gable. He can do a lot. I feel I'd be angry, like I said, but in this case, I just see this guy as a jobber now. Like, what else can Braun Strowman do? Where can you go from here? Is he gonna be like the new character? I mean, he won the match, but it's like I don't know, like going up against like let's say a fly, right? And the fly actually like just like suplexes you, body slams you, and you're like, oh my god, stop! Like this small fly, like it's the same thing. Like okay, you squish the fly at the end, but your reputation, your honor, your manhood, it was absolutely destroyed, especially with that German suplex. So yeah, this is like my main point. This is the main question I want to ask you today. Do you think from now on, because of this match, Braun Strowman is a jobber? Uh, this is like the one question. I know I asked about damage control as well, but this is really something I'm interested in. So let me know down in the comments. Anyways, let's continue. Like I said, Braun Strowman picked up the victory after looking like a complete bitch. So a little too late for that. Then we had this segment. Bailey tried to talk a lot. Bianca just said, shut up, and signed it. Cool. You know, nothing bad, but nothing good either. Honestly, very difficult to even mention it. So we're just going to pass along to this match. Solo Sikoa. I mean, every week I like him more and more. The first week I didn't like him that much. Then the next week he came out, did a better match, got the championship on all that. Lost it for some reason quickly. He changed this theme song, which is way better now. It even like has like what we the ones in the lyrics cool, pretty cool. The theme is cool. The way he looks is cool. The way he wrestles is cool. And not only is it cool, but he's also really good at it. It's obvious, and like that's fucking scary, honestly. Samoans are something else. The Samoans are really something else. Yeah. So each and every single week, I like Sakoa more and more. He's becoming one of my favorites, and I'm sure many people feel the same way. The dynamic between Sami Zayn and Jey Uso played a huge part in this. Nearly cost Sakoa the match, and I think any other person would have lost, but Sakoa didn't. Like literally just by himself, even if he was distracted, destroyed. And sorry, not Marty Jannetty, Angelo Dawkins, right? I think so. I keep confusing their names. Yeah, Angelo Dawkins. Okay, so yeah, I mean, the bloodline, the storyline with that, with Sami Zayn and Jey Uso and everything, absolutely perfect. Just absolute great character work. Each and every single week, each and every single segment. This was no exception. And all this accomplished for me, which I assume is like, well, two things. Obviously, Jey Uso and Sami Zayn are really now getting in each other's way. And this is putting the bloodline in danger. That's, number one point we should take away from this. And number two, Solo Sikoa is a badass. So like him more, right? I think that was the two messages. And I think this was the main event, right? If I'm not mistaken. Alexa Bliss versus Io Shirai. Like I said, Io Shirai has been the most underwhelming person in the damage control. I don't know how you guys feel about her. But yeah, this doesn't feel like a main event. Never does. Never does. I think maybe it was last week or maybe the week before that. Damage control again was at the main event or on the main event, whatever. And yeah, it was just like the word whatever. Who cares? Honestly, it doesn't feel big enough. It doesn't feel exciting enough. because their story is pretty cookie cutter right now. There's nothing to be excited about. Their matches aren't that good. So I don't know why they're the main event, you know. Couldn't you make something else the main event? Yeah. It's a decent show. 3 hours obviously hurts it, but I'm sure you heard this in every single Raw review you ever listened to. Let's go ahead and look at the pictures a little bit closer now. Do a little quick recap. And I'm going to try to spot here, looking at the pictures, what could have been the main event instead of this. Because, yeah, it's just like Alexa Bliss isn't that great of a wrestler. I mean, Sky, I've seen really good matches from her, but I've also seen very bad matches from her. So right now, she's, for me at least, hit or miss. Uh, but now that I think about it, yeah, maybe the United States Championship match could have been the main event. When you look at this, like, even this match was more exciting. You know, Braun Strowman got his ass kicked and all that. Something happened actually in the match, but still doesn't feel like a main event match. This doesn't either. And yeah, this has been happening in the last couple of Raws. Just doesn't feel as big, right? The first couple of weeks with Triple H, at least there was a return happening, something big was happening. Now, I'm not saying it has to happen. A new return has to happen every single week, but at least one big thing, right? Like I said, doesn't have to be a return, but one big thing. If that happened every single week, would have been cool. But yeah, for a while now, Raw has just been mild, but still, I'm pretty sure the pay-per-view is going to be pretty good. Maybe, you know, if you told the story, yeah, this could have been positioned as the main event. Because you got your champion, right? He's at the main event. Yeah, honestly, actually, when I look at the entire show, yeah, either the Bobby Lashley match could have been the main event or Bianca and Bailey. Yeah, if I was the booker of the show, I guess I could see myself making that the main event. But again, it's just like, yeah, it was a bit of a drag to get through the entire episode. But like I said, I don't expect every single week to be absolutely amazing with crazy stuff happening. But we can turn the heat up a notch, I feel. And I think that's going to happen after Extreme Rules because, or maybe the Saudi Arabia show with Roman Reigns and Logan Paul. After that, we got not WrestleMania, Royal Rumble coming up, Survivor Series with War Games, then WrestleMania. So I think I'm hoping that we see, you know, a WrestleMania build up akin to the old days, because nowadays WrestleMania is seen as important by the WWE, fair enough. But back then, like the last few months of WrestleMania was also a huge deal. They went out all out, you know, all out. They did everything they could to promote the hell out of that show. And the Raws would be way more exciting. The SmackDowns, the normal weekly shows would have been more exciting. In the last couple of years, yeah, they stopped doing even that. So, but with Triple H coming in and this being his first year and especially first WrestleMania and Royal Rumble and all that, I think like we're in for a treat when it comes to the weekly shows and the pay-per-views. But we'll see. We'll see. So this was my first review. I think most of my reviews will be around 30 minutes because I like to talk about everything, every single little detail that I can remember. I'm sure I forgot something like the backstage segments. We saw Johnny Gargano and Dexter Loomis, call back to NXT. Let's say that. What else did we see? I mean, more missed segments with Loomis, obviously. Edge cut a promo on Finn Balor, which was nice. The I Quit match with Finn Balor and Edge should be a nice watch for sure. But yeah, I guess I should also say this. So I'm gonna review SmackDown as well, and I'm gonna review uh, Extreme Rules, and all of those are gonna be separate videos, and then I'm gonna bunch together all my reviews of the 3 shows, and it's probably gonna be like an hour and a half video, right? And it's gonna be most likely called, this may change, Kero Wrestling episode 1, right? So what I'm planning to do is when Raw happens, the next day I'm gonna review Raw. When SmackDown happens, I'm gonna next day review SmackDown. And then if a pay-per-view happens, I'm gonna review the pay-per-view, and then I'm gonna put them all together and do like put them up as like a podcast, right? Uh, so if you wanna just listen to all of them at once, you can do that. Or if you wanna just um, be up to date, right? If you don't want to wait until like I put everything together, you can listen to these individual videos. And yeah, I might like switch to just doing the podcast. So uh, once a week, right? Instead of reviewing every show right after, I might add a little bit more to the podcast, like um, you know, questions and answers. I don't know what it's called. Ask me anything stuff, type of stuff. But anyways, the more I speak, the more tired I get, the more hungry I get. You know, I'm tired, I'm hungry, I'm old, and I work with freaking children. Okay. Yeah. Guess this is the ending of my first ever review of Monday Night Raw. Like I said, uh if nothing happens, knock on wood, God willing, or any other terminology you may want to use, this is the first of many. So, like I said, I want to know about what you think when it comes to damage control, and I want to know, do you think Braun Strowman is now officially an absolute jobber? That's all. So I thank you very much. I'll see you in my next video. Believe me, there's a lot more coming. So yeah, take care of yourself.